Hey guys, Dr. Corey here. Hope everyone is well and had a great weekend. This is your Monday Motivational Mastery session. Hey, so did you guys know or are you aware that generally speaking, most people are dissatisfied with their lives? It's true. Most people feel a real lack of vitality. They don't feel like they have a sense of purpose or meaning in their lives, and particularly sad to me is that a full 75% of people can't identify a single person that they feel loved and supported by. So they're really lacking in connection as well, which is one of our basic psychological needs. So we're dealing with an incredible lack of ambition, a lack of self-determination, and when we look at what that means, most people are feeling that they don't have a sense of choice. They don't feel effective in influencing their environment, and they lack a sense of belonging, of love. So I'm here today to tell you that there is one big action, though, that we can take to move out of this sense of disengagement with our lives and to move out of this morose approach to life, like it is the way it is, it's never going to change. I just keep giving up on my goals. This series that we're in right now is all about finding your happy. Well, I'm going to give you today another one to do that. So here's a question for you. If I asked you to name your strengths, what would you say? A couple weeks ago, I asked you to project into the future and imagine yourself at, if you're working on weight loss, for example, imagine yourself at your goal weight, the weight you set out to achieve, and with that weight having accomplished all of the other things that you'd said were important to you. I asked you to answer a few key questions, including questions like, what do I act like? What do I do? How do I behave? What do I say? How do I feel? What do I think about? What are the thoughts that I actually have? And I asked you to get really, really specific. Now, you may have written down something like, I dress colorfully. I actually pick out form-fitting clothes. Now, if I asked you guys to take that a step further and label the strengths of that person, it might sound something like this. Well, I appreciate beauty and the finer things. I take my time getting ready in the morning, and I'm pretty patient. I'm patient when I pick out my clothes. Now, you may have written that you walk with confidence, right? Or that when you enter a room, you make eye contact with people instead of walking in kind of closed body position. To take this a step further, you might say that a person who does this exhibits a strength of vitality, of zest, of energy, right? When you enter a room, your energy influences how other people feel. So you may say that you have the strength of social intelligence. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? When you deliberately label and pinpoint what your strengths are, what you're doing is you're really building a foundation for applying them in your life. This is key. Most people will admit that it's really difficult for them to identify their personal strengths. It's easier to notice the strengths of other people. We meet people all the time, I think, I do anyway, who I feel are really genuine, right? They're authentic. They feel real to me. And we appreciate that quality. It's a strength. Strengths come in resources, they come in talents, they come in skills of character, right? We know others who exhibit really consistent discipline. That's a character strength. These are people you may watch and think, man, I really wish I had her level of self-control or self-regulation. Now, here's something that's very key to this. Everyone, all of us, every human being on the planet, no matter who you are, how you grew up, what your background is, where you're from, where you live now, how old you are, we all have these strengths. All these strengths that exist within us. And the only difference is, how do we use them, how often, when, in what context, and to what degree. So each of us has 24 character strengths. And these have been very well researched, and they're part of the positive psychology movement. But we also have what are called signature strengths, which are 3 to 7 of our top strengths that we use very, very naturally. They just come out of us because they're a part of our identity. We don't even necessarily have to think about using them. You know, I have one best friend who, she would not be the person she is without her strength of like humor. She has incredible wit, and it comes out of her all the time. It's not deliberate. She isn't trying to be funny. She just has that strength where she's making connections left and right. Everything that comes out of her mouth is funny. You know, I wouldn't feel like myself if I didn't have the strength of perspective and being able to look at things from kind of a 360-degree view without judgment. I have another friend who, without his strength of curiosity, he would be lost in the world, and I wouldn't be able to call him the guy that I know. Without that curiosity, it wouldn't be him. So here's why this is important, guys. Individuals who are at least aware of what their character strengths are 9 times more likely to flourish in life as compared to the individuals who don't know about strengths at all, who haven't reflected upon them, who don't even really know that they exist. Now, when I say flourish in life, here is what that means. These individuals experience more positive emotions, okay? They are more engaged in life. They feel a strong sense of meaning and purpose in their lives, and they achieve more. They are better able to pursue their goals with persistence and tenacity and grit and resilience. Sign me up, please. But what if you want to be more than aware? There's a next level, right? We have no knowledge or awareness at all, and then we have awareness. You know, I recognize what they are, and then we have actually deliberate application. What happens when we actually apply the strengths to our lives, within our lives? Well, now we are 18 times more likely, okay, compared to having an awareness to flourish. Guys, that's huge, right? So what we need to begin doing is to take stock, reflect upon what our strengths are, when, where, how we use them, and then in situations, especially situations that are challenging for us, right? You know, if I have the strength of capacity to be loved, no, if I'm in a difficult situation within a relationship, I might ask myself, knowing that I have that strength, you know, if I were going to approach this with love, what might that look like? And it sets the stage for us behaving in a way that we actually feel capable and confident in, right? So here's the deal. I want you guys, hopefully you did that activity from a couple weeks ago, my future self. Look at what you wrote down and ask yourselves, what are my strengths? think about it from this perspective. It might be easier this way. What have other people told you, friends, family, those close to you, that you do well, that they feel, you're talented in? Maybe they've commented on your resourcefulness in some way. What are you resourceful with? Think of it from that perspective. Make a list of your strengths, okay? And then kind of ask yourself, if I were to approach my life on a daily basis using one of those strengths, how might that change my level of purpose this day? How might that change my relationships? How might that change how I interact with my work when I'm at the office? All of these things can benefit. Thanks, guys. Go forth and have an awesome, strength-focused week.